Alrighty, so I'm going to show you just an easier way to design your calendar if the last lecture post wasn't clear enough. This is a more simple approach that you can also try. Now, my calendar is 11 by 17. You can see that in the properties panel. And I'm only doing one page for now because you can apply this to all 12 pages. You can set your margins to 1/2 inch all around. And what I did here was I just found the middle of my layout, which is about 8.5 by 11. So 8.5 is half and 8.5 is the other half. So this is my halfway point. So I have a ruler here showing that this is my halfway point. So now that I know that's the halfway point, the top can be an image. So, why don't we just, let me see. You would fill that with an image. I'm just going to use a color so you can see that, that's going to be utilized by an image up here. And this bottom half will be your calendar. And then what you can do is split it in the middle. It folds in the middle. This set right. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the type tool and I'm going to start where that first purple guideline is. And I'm going to draw a type box all the way from the left side to the right side of that margin guide so that you're allowing the margin space to frame your information. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by doing the days of the week. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I can spell check, spell check, spell check. And the way to spell check is when you're ready to submit, just do an edit spell check, and that'll kind of run through, make sure you have everything spelled correctly. Okay, so then at this point, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're picking the font that you want. I think I used Montserrat in the other one. Let's do Montserrat. Let's do bold. And we want to make this more emphasized because they are the days of the week. So a little bit larger would be great. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to set our tabs for just the days of the week. So with this selected and highlighted with your type tool, go up to type on your menu bar into tabs. This ruler dictates your tabs from the start of where your highlighted section is to the end of your highlighted section, even actually all the way over to your other purple guide. So what we want to do is I'm going to set center justified tabs for my days of the week because I want them to be centered in my box. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and do centered. Let me change that to center tabs. And I'm just going to place these at the 1 inch mark initially. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 7. Now I know I'm going to have to even this out because our days of the week, we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this is 7 up here, but they're equally spaced out now. But what we want to do is we want to equally space it out up here so that it makes sense for, being equally spaced out on your layout. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to pull these over a little bit, maybe a quarter. I think I hear my dog here. Sorry, he's a little whiner today. He wants to curl up on mommy's lap all the time, and I don't have the time. I'm trying my best. Okay, you know how dogs can get. All right, let's see here. I'm just kind of eyeing this up, but we can make this more significantly equal as we go forward here. I was just trying to get a good estimate. Okay, so then you're going to put your cursor right in front of, and you can actually X at this point, X out of that little tab. You're going to hit tab in front of each of these letters. So put your cursor in between and hit tab. It might not do anything at first, but as long as you're putting in a tab, you're good. Okay. Then do a select all so that you're selecting all of your type again. Go back up to type in tabs. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to, ooh, not that. There we go. You're going to adjust these just so that we can kind of get these evenly spaced. And I see Sunday, we put way too far over. Monday, Tuesday. Get rid of that one. I put one in there by accident. There we go. There we go. Okay, so we're getting closer here. We just have to, and it depends on how big your font is. Right now, my font for my days of the week are at 18 points, and that's pretty big. That's okay though. I mean, you can do the same, but you would need to adjust the spacing based on how big your font is too. So, alrighty. I think I just pulled another tab out by accident. There we go. And as you can see, as I'm pulling these tabs, they're moving the words, but these are centered. So they're centering them based on where the tab is on the ruler. Okay. Oops. All right. So now that we're kind of getting where we need to be, looks pretty good. I mean, I think Wednesday is the biggest word there. All right, we're good there. All right. So now we got our days of the week. And now what we're going to do is we're going to pull this up so that this is designated on its own tabs. And we're going to do another type box under there. And this one, we're going to do the numbers. So if you're doing January of 2023, Sunday, January 1st starts on the first starts on a Sunday. But we're going to go ahead and type out the numbers here. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19. You might already have this typed out, which is good. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. All right, select all and choose a font for this. You can choose the same font that you decided for the headline, or just make it like, lighter, or, whichever you want to do. I'm going to do Montserrat Light at 14 points for now and see how that how that works. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to divide this up into, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got to divide this up into 7 spots. So I'm going to pull out guides here. These guides, I'm going to go ahead and draw out here. My dog might be barking here, so apologize, the pizza guys here. You know how that goes. All right. Now, these guides aren't equal right now, but we can definitely make them equal. Whoops. Let me pull this up. All right. Just make sure your guides are all unlocked. So when you select all of them, you draw like a little line over top that you can select them all. Let me see if I can align them this way. Object layout align. Wait a second. Something's going on here. All right. There we go. Okay, so I selected all of my guides, and these guides I just pulled out from the rulers on the left-hand side here. And then I went to my align panel and I hit distribute horizontal centers. So this is nice because it's going to give you that nice space that you need to kind of, you know, add in your numbers and it's equal spaced. And then it will also allow you to draw lines in here, and you can do so. Let me lock these guides. You go up to view, grids and guides, you can lock them here so that you're not moving them around. And at this point, what I would do is I would just take the rectangle tool and I would go ahead and draw a big rectangle just in this purple area. And, you know, it's up to you if you want to give it a solid frame. I just think it's nice because I can see it. You can always eliminate it later. Let's give it like a frame here. Perfect. Okay. We're going to send back too. So we're going to go object arrange, send it back so that we're not constantly selecting it. And then you can either do one of two things. You could take the line tool or the pen tool. The line tool is very easy. You could just click on it, hold the shift key down and choose your stroke. And I'm going to choose 1. And then you can copy and paste that Command C, Command V into your, you know, onto your layout. So you're making a perfect straight line that's the same length. And you're just positioning it right over top of those guidelines that are there for you. All right, and this is just kind of sitting here. I'm going to send these to back to object, send it back. Perfect. Okay. All right, and now we're going to do a horizontal one, which will be separating the days of the week. So holding that shift key down. There we go. Perfect. And then you can kind of rearrange it. Now at this point, I'm going to hide my guide so you can see. You can see that, you know, like Wednesday here is kind of big. So what we're going to do is we're going to just make this a little smaller so it fits into our spots a little easier. So let's go down to 14 and then again, go to type tabs. So you might need to adjust the size. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this so that it's centered in each of these cells. Now, again, another thing that you can do to help you out with this is you could put a guide out there. So like, for instance, you could put a guide here showing the middle. You know, oops. Actually, that was on the left-hand side. This one's a little smaller. That would be actually on this side. I'm going to go that far with that. There we go. Make sure that is the same width. I think that's a little big. There we go. Bringing in a little bit more here. Perfect. Just make sure, I kind of like to draw these little frames to kind of help me know that these are all the sizes that are equal here. Kind of help me view the halfway mark. And then those guides will help you center your days of the week. Those guides that I'm pulling out don't print. They're just for you to kind of help you align certain things. Actually, that was perfect. Oops. All right, and then this one needs to be adjusted a little bit here based on our margin guide. So I'm glad I did this because now I have a true, oops, what did I just do? Okay, I have a true size here. And now I'm going to center all of this based on, there we go, perfect. So the margins are the same here and the margins are the same here. Now what I'm going to do is I am going to, you know what though, that kind of messed up my center one. So hold on, before you do that, let's keep this the way it is so that we can center this. So don't move it yet. We're going to center this based on this information that we have on the lines. I think that Sunday one needs to be revised here. Oops, I deleted that one. If you delete it, it's okay. You can undo and redo. But see how I'm kind of aligning these tabs to that blue line. The only one that needs fix is this one. This is not, I think that moved when I shifted everything. And then I locked my guides. So make sure you unlock your guides if you want to move them. Perfect. And then you can kind of shift your tabs. Okay, so that's the middle. You know, that's how you would center those in an easier way. Some of mine still look like, this one still looks messed up. Hold on. At the very end here, yes, that's actually a little off there. Fix that. I'm not sure what happened. I think when I moved everything over, it kind of messed everything up. Alrighty, so I have my numbers. So my number, I'm gonna do my horizontal lines later once I get my numbers set, so that I know those are equal to. And I'm gonna go ahead and make this the width of the box. I'm gonna double click, and I'm gonna go up to type tabs. I'm gonna do the same thing. It's up to you on how you want to do this. You can center or right align your numbers. Typically they are right justified. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to do a right justified about 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to set these. It's nice to see the guides there so you can know exactly where they're going to be. And I think this is just an easier way than I showed you before, just getting your tabs in there. Okay, so I have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 tabs. All right, with that being said, now with all of these numbers, I'm going to go ahead and click right in front of that number 1, and I'm going to hit tab. And then in front of number 2, I'm going to hit tab. And in front of number 3, I'm going to hit tab. And in front of number 4, I'm going to hit tab. And I'm just going to keep on moving my cursor so that I'm able to tab out each of these. And then it should go to the next line. I'm going to hit return. And let me just make sure my tabs didn't. Nope, it's still there. Okay, so I'm going to hit tab. And then in front of 8, I'm going to hit tab. In front of 9, I'm going to hit tab. And in front of 10, I'm going to hit tab. Oh, I think I had a space in there. Sorry, hold on. 8, where's 9? Where's my 9? I deleted my 9 by accident. Okay, and if that weird space happens, just go ahead and delete it. Sometimes when you get down to the second line, it does that. So you hit that delete, go back to this line, tab, delete, oops, not delete the 1, delete in front of the 12. In between the 12 and the 13, you want to hit a tab. And then you want to delete, so you have the 13 come back up. Tab, 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 delete that space, 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 tab, 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 delete that space, go between 20 and 21, tab, tab, delete that space in front of 21, tab in between these two numbers, tab, delete that space, oops, tab, tab, delete that space, tab, tab, delete that space. It's kind of redundant, but I think it's the best way to go. Whoops. I think it's just easier than the last instructed method I gave you guys with the cells and all of that. This is just a little easier for those of you who got stuck on that. Okay. Let's see if I got this right. Oh, my 4 screwed up. That's probably what screwed me up. Now I have to go back and fix this. I didn't see that. 8. That's okay. I'm going to fix it real quick here. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Okay. So you can see that they're like perfectly aligned now to the right. They just need spaced out more. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide up my spaces here. So we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. Okay. So we'll do this. I'm just taking my guides down like I did vertically, but now I'm doing it horizontally. Okay. And then I'm going to shift select. I actually need to make sure I'm on making lines on the bottom, very bottom one too. So there, and then you shift select all of those horizontal lines that you made, including the ones here. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You shift select so that we're able to go to your align tool and say distribute vertical centers. And that way we have equally spaced out squares, so we can take our horizontal line at this point and draw our dividers. So shift select the guides and align them using the Pathfinder tool. So now I know, okay, now I know I have this space to fill. Just make sure your type box is way down here. And just select all of your numbers. And we're going to go up to, we're going to make a paragraph style. So go to your styles. And we're going to name this. So with it, your number selected, we're going to say days of the week. And then click on indents and spacing. And right after you click on that, go to your space after, make the preview button show. And you're going to hit this to, I'm going to do 1 inch. All right. So now, because these don't have returns in them yet, they're not being spaced out. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need a return. Oops, I did that wrong. You're going to need a return and then tab in front of each of the first numbers. Return tab, return tab, return tab to put that space in. So now when you go back to your paragraph style and you go spacing indents, you can actually adjust this and you'll see it being adjusted. So say if you wanted to be like a little lower or a little higher, you can adjust it there. Click OK when you're done. And I'm going to pull this up a little bit because it looks like the top, yeah, there we go, perfect, is a little bit higher than the ones that are lower. Like the ones on the top are higher up. Let me hide my guides here. Window. Show you my preview. So now at this point, what I would do is just select all and I would move everything over to the right. There we go. And it looks like, you know what? It looks like my right box is smaller still. That's probably what's screwing me up with the space. Let me fix that. I think what I did was I measured that out and I shifted everything. So let me fix that real quick. Let me go back to a regular view. Yep, it's a little bigger. Very tiny little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and change that. I have to unlock that. Oh. I haven't unlocked it. Hold on 1 second. I did send it to back. All right, well, I did think I locked it, but it's not letting me choose it. And then now I'm in my normal view. I should be able to view select it. Let me pull this up real quick. For some reason. Aha. There we go. I had everything in front of it. So now I just have to select my lines. That was me. I screwed up on the measurements there. There we go. Pull this down. And then I will adjust my tabs. Where Saturday is. That's why my Saturday was off. Let's over. Oops. Okay, that looks better. Perfect. Okay, so then, just take a look at your margins and see if everything looks equal. I'm gonna pull this down just a little bit because I have a little bit more. I had a little bit more down here than up here, but now it's kind of equal. I see that I have this line that didn't quite make it to the edge here. Sometimes zooming in helps. I know I'm just trying to do this quickly. It's just not going to the end here. Let me zoom in. It's being a stinker. I'm holding the shift key down. I don't know if that's what's happening there, but it shouldn't be a problem. All right, so that is a way that you can do that without having to do the complicated cells that I showed you before. I think this is a little easier. I mean, I know there was a little bit of adjusting to do size-wise, but I think that this is just a little easier to understand using the tabs. And then it's up to you if you want to like add, say, color back here. You can always do like a color block. I don't know, let's say red. And then change your fonts and all that good stuff. We're going to send it back. And then I would definitely change this to be all white. If you do something like this. And then, figure out the design that you want to do. When you're done doing the first page, what's nice about this, if you just do it on one page, you can duplicate this just by dragging it down to that plus sign. And there you go. You have a second page. So now you don't have to repeat it. You just have to work your numbers out. So like, let's say, and I don't have a calendar on me, but let's say February starts on a Tuesday, then just put your cursor next to the 1 and hit tab. And then what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to just adjust your numbers accordingly, kind of do what I did earlier by putting in those spaces. Hold on. There we go. 5, 6, and 5 is being a stubborn little number. There we go. You're going to have to probably take out all of the spaces and like redo kind of the order of your type, kind of what we did in the beginning, just kind of reorganize based on how this falls. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, hit return. Oh, need 12 to be up there. 12 doesn't need to go up there, 12. There we go. We have to do a shift return to get that up there. We go. And then, and once you're in front of 13, oh, we need to tab this out too. Here we go. 12. So it's just kind of playing around with the tabs and all that fun stuff. 1920. Tab, here we go. And then you're putting in your returns after that. I can't remember how many. February has 28 days, so you would have to go to this day. And then you could adjust the spacing in between, again, by going up to your styles and changing that, although this should fall in line with that. And it looks like these are kind of hanging up a little bit further. Let's see the styles, paragraph styles. If we change this one, it's going to change the other one. That's why I'm afraid to make any changes here, but let's see. Yeah, let's see. Cancel that. Copy the same space in between here. I think this is where it's, yeah, that's where it's happening. Right there is that bad space in there. So what I did was I went up to the first one and I put my cursor behind the 7. Oops. And then I just copied the space right before the 8. So I did a copy and then I pasted it there. And it gave me the space that I needed that's equal to that. So now it's laying perfectly the same. Okay. I know it's a little hard to understand because of how I did that, but you're going to need to do a little bit of like shifting each time. So, you know, the next month, if you need to shift this again, you'll need to do like some tab work and some shifting of the numbers because it's a little bit of a pain trying to get this to be in line. There we go. Like there needs to be a tab here and it's not taking the tab out of there. Because I'm putting a return there. If I did, oh, a space return, that'll do it. Yeah. So it's letting me do a shift return to get that 4 back up there, but it's going to screw you up once you get back up to here. So what I would suggest is just take out all these spaces when you're shifting this, like I'm doing here. And there we go. Hit return in front of each number, hit return, hit return. And if it gets kind of wonky here, there we go. I actually didn't go too bad. You can go up to the previous, like, you know, what I did up here, go up here, take that same space after the first line of numbers, copy that same space, just hit Command C. Go down here, select that same area and hit paste. That's going to be the same space used that you did in the first one. You can apply it to the second one if you get like a goofy lineup. Okay. All right. Hopefully this helps.